Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted that you join us on today because I believe that God has a special coaching session just for you. Remember that the goal of Action Coaching is to coach the God-given ability that is in you, out of you, so you can live your best life now. Everyone needs a coach. None of us make it alone. Everybody needs somebody to coach them, and so we're excited to share with you on today. Now remember that these are just coaching tips. We don't have time to get in depth on everything, but I would love for you to reach out to me with questions, or if you need more info on a certain topic that I've talked on, or would you like for me to spend the whole Action Coaching just answering some questions? I would love to do that. Reach out, interact with me so that we can continue to dialogue on the coaching tips. I'm not saying that I know everything, but I know a lot of things that could help you in your walk toward your dream. So I would love to hear from you. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 things that are necessary to be successful in your dream and in your vision. These 3 things, there are many things, but these are the 3 that I believe, or let me say it this way, these are the 3 things that I applied to my own life concerning the dream and vision that God gave me, and I trust that they would be a blessing to you. Now, the first thing that is necessary is that you have to be convinced. I'm not talking about convincing anyone else. I'm talking about you. Now, there are 2 different men that you face, and I've said that. It's the man out there that's trying to stop you from achieving your dream, and it's the man on the inside that's helping you to achieve your dream. And I found out something. Once you get the fella on the inside right, then the man on the outside don't even matter. So the first thing, you got to be convinced. And a lot of times people do not start things because first place, they've already convinced themselves is, what if I fail? Well, what if you succeed? Then if you succeed, can I handle success? It's always that double-minded going on in a person's mind. But the first person that's got to be convinced is you. That's why a mind transformation has to take place. Mentally, you got to make a decision that you are going to do this. And once again, I say, it's not about anybody else. It's not about the circumstances and the condition. What do you believe about you? Do you trust the gift that is in you? I feel like God gives everybody a gift. And the whole issue is, do you trust in your gift? Now, I agree it's hard to trust in you trying to live somebody else's gift. You know, there are a lot of people in the world trying to live by somebody else's dream and not living out their own. Your dream is the only one you're going to become successful at. I found out that, hey, I admire other people's success, but they're not me and I'm not them. So I got to work on living out my own success. Now, I know there are things you can learn from other people's success, but at the end of the day, you got to be you. I remember when I started, then a lot of people, they had an opinion of, people, this is successful preaching. This is successful ministry. This is this. And I just simply said, well, you know what? I'm going to be me, because nobody can beat me at being me. So I had confidence in myself. A lot of times you got to sit down and have a talk with your own self and understand that if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. And you can always tell the people that have a person that have confidence in themselves, They don't need people to come along and pat them and encourage them to believe in what they believe in. When you believe in it, that ain't the part you need. Now, yes, people can come along and say, well, keep going, but you got already over keeping going. So you got to believe in you. So that is important. So belief in yourself is the very first thing you must do. Now somebody said, well, can you give me a tip on how I know that I'm believing in myself? You will stop saying what I'm going to do and start saying what you must do. That's the difference. A lot of people say, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to do better. Now, chances are they're not going to ever do it because they don't believe they're going to do it. It's always, I'm going to do. But when you start saying, I must do, that's a whole nother different train of thinking. When I decided I must do this for me, I have confidence in me and I must do this. I see the dream, I see the vision, and I must do it. I can't do it for anybody else. I have to do it for the man on the inside. My mind has to go through a transformation and understand that I must do this. No matter what the conclusion or what it takes, I must do it. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is once you decide that you must do it, here's the problem that a lot of people make is you got to make sure you get information on what you're going to do. You've got to go places and see models of the thing that you want to do. You cannot assume that your way is the best way. There are always images in front of you to show you a good way, and then you can rise above that. A lot of times people don't do the necessary study. I mean, after all, you can't be a doctor unless you put in the study and the work and pass all the tests. You can't be an electrician unless you learn how to be an electrician, or you can't be anything in life. It'd be crazy for you to talk about you want to be an astronaut and you have simply no training. Sometimes people strive out on business and dreams and don't even do no research. Even though I had a dream of the ministry, I went around and I looked at ministries that represented where I want to go. You know, if I want to be a big ministry, I can't learn it looking at a small ministry. I have to go see people that have done it before, not to be jealous, but to have the picture in my mind that it can be done. So it's got to be a lot of study. I've seen people in the ministry that want to be preachers and everything, and they haven't even studied the Bible. They can't even pronounce all the books in the Bible. How do you expect to be successful and you have not studied your craft? The more you study your craft, the greater chances of you being successful they have increased. So you got to get knowledge. Even the scripture said, wisdom is the principal thing. But then it's saying all you're getting, get and understand. You got to understand what you are endeavoring to do so that you can be good at your craft. So study is necessary. Now study is not easy. And you have to put time in to understand where God is leading you, so you will know the very best about your business endeavor or the vision that you're endeavoring to get in. So I spent a lot of time studying. I spent a lot of time learning. I mean, I did some investigation to make sure that I was prepared with the knowledge for the particular vision or dream I was going in. I talk to people all the time. They say, I got this dream. And the first thing I said, well, how much research have you done on it? No, I ain't did nothing yet. Well, how in the world do you know it's for real if you hadn't did any research on it? So studying is necessary. One must study. Now remember, the first point I said was you got to convince yourself. The second point is you got to put your study time in. Now I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. I left off talking about you have to put your time in studying. If you're going to achieve the dream or if you're going to be successful, this is necessary. And if you don't put your study time in, you will never be successful. And the third thing I want to talk about is you have got to be prepared to make investments in yourself, in your dream. And if you're going to grow, you're going to have to be willing to make an investment. You're going to have to be willing to put it all on the line. If you want to invest in you, how in the world do you expect to be successful? I remember a time, and I'm just talking about in sports, when I went out for the basketball team and I felt like I had the ability to be pretty good at that. And yes, eventually I did play, but I'm just saying, the first thing the coach said to us is, you're going to have to get in better shape. No, he didn't say he was going to get us in better shape. He said, you're going to have to get in better shape before you tried for this team. So in other words, he was saying, you're going to have to take the time, you're going to have to invest in yourself, you're going to have to run, you're going to have to do what's necessary. A lot of people want to start something. Yes, it's all right to have other people invest in you, but the bottom line, if you want to invest in yourself, you are not going to be successful. Whatever it takes for you to be at the top of your profession. If a young lady want to be a model, well, obvious, you got to invest in the things you need to do what you need to do. If you're going to be in the flower business or whatever, if people will not invest in themselves, then that business is not going to be successful. I ran into a whole lot of people that want to have success, but they cheat about investing in themselves. I decided when God gave me the vision, I wanted to function at a high level of excellence. So that means I had to invest a lot of my time, talent, and money in it. If I was not willing to sell out to the dream, how in the world did I think it was going to come to pass? It's always something when people say, well, I'm going to hold back a little bit for a rainy day. If you're going to be successful, you better carry an umbrella, because it's going to be rainy days, but you can't hold back for a rainy day. You got to put it all in. And I heard people say, well, it's good to have a plan B if plan A don't work. That right there says that you're not serious, because you're already thinking about the plan B and ain't even tried the plan A yet. When I started out, I said I'm putting everything. Nothing was off limits when it came to investing in what I believe God had called me to do. If I sell the car to make it, car was sold. If I sell the furniture to make it, furniture was sold. If I had to live like less than what I expected for the dream to come true, I was willing to do it because I understood that my success or anybody's success is about how much are you willing to invest in yourself so you will be prepared for your success. If you don't want to put anything in, you've already failed. And you've seen a lot of great people that have accomplished things, and when you read their story, the first thing they did was invest in themselves. They talk about how they started in a garage or started, selling something on the street. Now they could have took their money and did better, but they invested in their dream. They put their time in. It was all about themselves. So you got to invest in yourself. And if you want anything to be good, you got to invest in it. And it starts with yourself. So ask yourself the question, are you willing to invest in yourself? People even question if they go into seminars and somebody's charging them and they be saying it's too much money. No, what it is, it's too much money for you because you don't want to invest in yourself. Will it improve my talent and give me more information? Then I want me to be better. If I got to change something or invest even the profit I just made in it, no, because I want it to be better. I heard a quote from an individual some years ago, and it was an amazing quote, and I have applied it to my life. And the quote was, he said, excellence costs a lot up front, but it pays for itself in the long run. And I found that when you invest in excellence, you can reap from it for years to come because you were willing to take that step. So, are you ready to invest in yourself? I decided when I got married and Mary and I had kids, and of course, most of you that are watching me know that I have 2 sons, and those of you that don't know that, well, I do have 2 sons. I was striving to get a daughter, but it just didn't work out that way. But I got 2 sons. But we decided early on that we wanted them to be a certain way. We wanted them to know certain things up front. So we put an investment in them. We invested in their education. We invested in spending time with them. We invested in making sure they were prepared for certain events that will come up. Because after all, the Bible says that if the kids' responsibility are to be able to take care of the parents when they're old, surely I want my kids to have plenty, because when I'm older, I want to live a certain way. But it won't happen unless you invest up front. So are you willing to invest in yourself? So I just simply talked about 3 things that I believe that are important for you to be successful. Now let's go over them again. Remember, number 1, I said, you the one got to be persuaded. You got to convince you. Now I ain't saying you get with your girlfriend or your best buddy and everything and y'all talk it over, and because they agree, you're going to go for it. No, this is something you've got to do by yourself. You got to make the decision by yourself. And then the second thing I said is you got to be prepared to do your research. Find out all the information you can on what you're endeavoring to do. Yes, in these days, you have a whole lot of knowledge that is out there for you to research. But if you're going to get into something, you need to know something about it. The more knowledge you get, the better you will be able to function. So it's good to learn about the very thing that you're in. And don't feel like just cause you do something good. I want you to know there's always somebody better. There's always somebody that'll make you come up to another level. That what you think you're doing good, they'll almost put it to shame. That's not a bad thing. That's a learning thing. You got to understand, as you research, you can learn to do better. And then number 3, you got to invest in yourself. If you're not willing to do that, I found out everything works well when you invest in it. You're going to have a successful marriage. You got to put your time in. You're going to have successful kids. You got to put your time in. If you're going to have a successful life, you got to invest in your life. You got to make sure there are things around that'll help you have a high quality of life. But if you don't want to invest in it and put the time in, you will never achieve it. I can say to you personally, there may be a lot of things that may not be pleasing to me, but I understand if I don't invest in them, I will not be able to live a high quality of life. So you got to be willing to invest in yourself. Now, I talked about these 3 things, 3 little tips, and I want you to start putting them in action and watch things change concerning your dream and your vision. I'll be right back to talk to you. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed you being here on Action News. See you on next week.
Of audio cassettes, Faith to Live Your Dreams by Pastor Wiley Jackson Jr.
So all the years you on crack cocaine, he's still saying, I'm waiting on you. All the years you being unfaithful to your wife and running all over the city, God said, I'm still waiting on you. All the years you drive by the church and wouldn't even come in, God said, I'm still here. Miracles will only show up when you get out there. In life, praise the Lord, if you want a miracle, hallelujah, it's not till you get up and do something that God is going to manifest himself.
Minister Jackson, the prize is mine.
I'm getting ready to win the $500 as I sprint out ahead of everybody. And I'll ride in the park and hold up a championship trophy. I'm waiting on the drug test. I think some of the runners had steroids before the race.
I had to carry my baby half of the way on my back. Well, see, what happened was I decided to let somebody else have the $500, you know.
I can't talk.
Welcome back. I'm grateful that you joined us on today for Action Coaching. And I appreciate you spreading the word about Action Coaching so people can tune in each and every week and they can be coached up just like you are being coached up. It's exciting when we spread Action Coaching around so many can endeavor to fulfill their dream in life. I certainly want to encourage you today to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for Action Coaching. It is our desire to make Action Coaching bigger and better, and we are going to do that. And we cannot do it without your financial support. So I want you to sow a generous seed for the support of Action Coaching on today. There's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways that you can sow to Action Coaching. And I want to challenge you, do it now. Sow now. so we can continue to reach so many people, and so you can continue to be blessed each and every week with Action Coaching. I'm going to be praying over the seed that you sow, and I know that the Lord is going to continue to richly bless you so that you can sow into the kingdom. After all, you're making an investment in yourself, and we certainly would love for you to help us here at Action Coaching so we can continue coaching people around the world. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you. Share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.